I'm quite interested in this concept of how we socialize through furniture or through the products. So today I would like to share with you some views, maybe some inspiration that we normally have in our office. We like taking these kind of pictures in the studio, seeing people, how they socialize, how they interact with things. And I think humans took a chair. They didn't have chairs, but they were using a stone as a chair, no? So in a way, they discover that they were more comfortable on a piece of rock or something that they found. They probably socialize around a campfire, or maybe they were sharing food, something that in Spain we really like. I also think that socializing is very much connected with comfort. I think comfort is something that humans like to find, to be more relaxed and to enjoy. In the year 2000, around the year 2000, we were invited by Domus magazine. They organized a competition, and it was to design the interior of an airplane. This case was the Boeing business jet. It was a small airplane, but to have business inside. And we proposed something that was breaking all this. It was an interiors ideas concept, and we were proposing something that was breaking more or less some of the rules. For example, this bubble you see is the steam bath. It was called the flying carpet because we thought that when you're doing business inside an airplane, you really need to feel where you are and to feel this experience. Also had like a very a table to share food and to share the business with the people that you're traveling. Maybe why not to have your own delicatessens ready to cook by yourself. And another thing it was important about this flying carpet was it had a chameleonic atmosphere. That means that it was capturing the colors of the countries it was flying over. So the inside of the airplane was transforming, the walls, they were transforming and changing to give you the sense of a route. Because when you travel with a train, you have like a contact with the outside, but when you're flying, you never have, like there's so many rules in an airplane that you never have this contact. So the chameleonic atmosphere was something that it was important. Also something that we started working was this tatami, this flexible tatami that we proposed in the floor. So through remote control, the passengers could select the topography of the floor so they can decide the better topography to adapt to their body. We won the competition, so we're really proud of that project. After that, more or less parallel at the same time, we started working with a company. It's called Nani Marquina. She has a brand of doing carpets. So we propose what we end up calling, like the airplane, is the flying carpet, but this is for like normal homes, not for luxury places. And this carpet is just a normal carpet that we put like a wedge underneath. It's a foam wedge, so it makes the carpet very comfortable and makes the carpet like a nice place to be and relax and socialize. So this is more or less the landscape that it creates. I also like to point this, in general, all her work is very interesting. If you don't know Andrea Sittel, she's an American artist, but I point out 2 projects, maybe 3, but this one, there are some space waggons, vehicles she creates. And I like her work because she's very very much working in the boundaries of her discipline. She is an artist, but of course, she also is kind of listening what the consumers want. So she allowed, she created the bagoon, which is this container, and inside there are different kind of customizations of the space. So if you buy the bagoon, you can have your own environment. So there are like several of them. One is a bathtub. This one is from the gallerist. So she get this kind of over upholstered space, and they are like very intimate spaces. She also create that, and this is like a completely fake rock made of cement and steel, and it's installed in Central Park. It was installed in Central Park outside, and it looks like it's completely something natural, but it's completely artificial. But I like the way she's like questioning what is natural and what is not, and she works with a completely with completely this limit, no. Also like the way she presents her work, because this has been taken from her book, and she always have people using what she's done. So in a way, I think there is a lot of connection with design, because we as designers, we need to have an audience. For example, artists probably, if they don't have an audience, they don't care. But we designers, we need to have an audience. And she's, in that sense, she's quite close to the discipline of design. Also in the way she thinks about. I point like three, if you can read the 3 sentences, because they're quite funny. She talks about surfaces and also talk about the idea of cleaning a surface. I think they're very, very nice. This project also connects with the other one of the artificial rocks in the park, that they look, if you don't see the brand, they look completely natural. So she's also working with this interior that she's proposing. It's like an open interior. This is made of foam rubber, so it's soft. And she's the previous one. She was mentioning that rules she has to design. So it's obviously meant to be repellent of dirty and rough as well. And I think with this kind of natural landscape brought inside a gallery, it makes it very, by contrast, it makes it very interesting. Another architect is Alan Bexler. He's an architect, but he is also working in the borders of the discipline. And he's got a lot of projects related with sharing and in everyday life, and also communicating walls and things like that. But I point out this piece of urban public art, and I think it's very funny because he's forcing the people to go into the table. To go, he put these spaces where you are almost forced to establish dialogue with someone. This is another artist, and for me it's completely different, because he is proposing something which is more aesthetic. Is completely. He was Daniel Buren. He's a French artist. He was commissioned to design this space at the Palais Royal, and he's very interested in designing art that is very well connected with the space. So it's got a very strong aesthetic power. But I'm sure he is not worried at all of how it's going to be used. But the pictures on the right, the 2 pictures that have been taken from us, is how people, even the situation is not optimal, how people is playing around in this kind of a garden of columns, and how they interact, although it's not ready. This comes to a project we did for Nola. Nola is a Swedish brand, and we really want you to design with the idea of the flying carpet, of your flying carpet, but she's a brand that works with urban furniture. So with this idea of the flying carpet, but something like for Sweden, public. So we end up doing this, what we call also open furniture, because this bench, which is actually a bench, it's called Sunday. This bench can be occupied, or can be used in many different ways. So it doesn't have like a front and a back, it doesn't have one side or the other, so it's very open. We like also observing young people, and that's why we thought maybe young people, they really like to sit in a different way. They never sit as the conventional way. So this gives this possibility. In fact, this Sunday bench is called the loving bench. Another example, this is not designed by us, is Alfredo Haberly. He designed this collection of benches that they also look to this connection, this socializing thing. And this one is called the Poet Bench, and it works as a connecting people. But nowadays, we are probably hyper-connected, as this is a graphic image from Maritza Duran, an artist. She is always questioning things. But do we really need, with this super connected world that we have with technology, do we really need this physical contact? I go really far away. This is Gaudi's bench. And probably in Gaudi's time, the distance and the proximity for the communication was a different one. With this bench, for example, it's funny, but when you speak in one side of the bench, the person in the other side is listening what you're saying. So there was probably a code of politeness. So the communication was another one. Another picture from Lisbon, this park with just this really smooth topography is provoking or inviting the users to interact in a different way with the space. With this idea of trying to socialize is something that I always been quite interested. In 1999, I was invited to think about the future of humans, and I proposed a concept. It was a bath, and I was trying to bring the bath to the middle of the house, to the center of the house, the ritual of bathing in the center of the house, to share this bath with your family, with your friends. Why not? To have like a relaxing space where we have this physical contact that I think is very important that we are not going to lose in the future. That was a surface, it was a soft surface with different textures that would activate the massage. That was soft, and it will have like this gel. This gel is a substance that will protect your skin, so it's and activate and it will clean your skin, but there is no water involved. It's just the gel, and the gel contains what I call a good bacteria that will eat the dirt and it will grow with you. So it was something very conceptual. I was having some performance with some people using it, and it's like a very sensorial experience, also kind of bringing us to the moment that we were born. Another project I think is quite interesting and is very much in the borders of the architecture. This endless house, this biomorphic architecture, never been built, but very inspiring. Frederick Kiesler here proposing a house that it grows with the needs that the people that lives inside has. Anything at that moment, architecture was in form and function. Nothing to do with that, but he was kind of a rare abyss at the time, and he explored this. He was Austrian, but went to the States. He explored this idea, and also, I think because it's easier to build furniture than to build a house, probably, he explored this endless furniture. You see that piece over there is a chair. The same chair turning upside down is a stool, and it's not here the picture, but it exists. The same stool can be also a table. So he was kind of thinking on that organic as well. I explained you a little story with this stool. This stool I was when I was doing my master degree. I found this metal piece, the air conditioning piece. I found it in the street, and I took it home. At the time I was proposing a project for the inside of the underground, or inside of the wagons of the trains, because I thought they were very boring. My project was on subversive design. So I took the stool on the way home. The stool was rocking inside the tube, so it gave me this idea of transforming into a rocking chair. Then to mold the top, I used a person sitting on plaster, so I transformed all that into the stool. A few years later, I had the opportunity to have the stools in an installation, and then they become in rotomolding. And just to finish today, I would like to show you this installation we did for a museum in Barcelona. It's called Niu d'Estiu in Catalan, which means summer nest. And that was, if you know, if you've been in Barcelona, you know Las Ramblas is a very, very busy street, noisy, and in the summer it's also quite hot. So we propose in these huge structures that can be used inside and outside. So it could happen like a performance, like a music, storytelling, as you see here. But it was also proposing to bring people to the museum, to attract them to the museum, and to have, in some situations, to have this disconnecting from Las Ramblas, or connecting with other things. That was the view from the top, and it was supposed to be like in that place for 3 months, because it was called Summer Nest. At the end, it was there for 6 months, I think, and I was quite successful. Thank you very much.